welcome back everybody to Legendary Live.
This is a very used character sheet now.
Yes, we have been going for a while, haven't we?
Much erasure and much development.
Shall we quickly recap where we were, or where you were when we left off last session? Would anyone like to say what they remember?
We have to fight a beast because Dana said so.
Yes, I should say that was a bit unfair. My ruling at the end of that last session, because it wasn't that bad a roll.
It wasn't a catastrophe, so I wasn't entirely certain just how badly we would be misled. But it's up to you, Ross.
Yeah, I will come back to that in just a moment.
Yes. Yeah, I believe I'm standing bemusedly over a sailor's grave, looking into the jungle and saying, and wondering whether it's rude to say to your god, "Are you sure?"
Mm-hmm. So, what else has happened? You had not been shipwrecked at sea. Much to my disappointment, I spent a lot of time reviewing the drowning rules before that. Managed to convince the ship's captain that you weren't to blame for the various dead sailors around.
Well, and you also gave Robbie the intuition roll, which characteristically he took an incredibly low number and busted out a working result. So, what was happening? Oh yes, you have a severely injured wolfling in the cabins. Poor snaps. And what else happened? Oh yes, and then the ship has dropped anchor next to an island where the poor unfortunate to sea sailors have been buried. In an Easterling fashion, because they don't like to bury people at sea. Had a bit of a wander around the island looking for plants, but didn't succeed in finding anything interesting. But Shining Star, in an act of what I'll describe it as piety and this is what happens when you actually try to do something good. Let this be a lesson to the rest of you.
So, as I said, your role wasn't as bad. I went a little overboard with the action at the end. So, as your attempts to bless the graves of the poor dead sailors, and your entreaty to Dana is made, initially vines and plants start to grow up around them, but suddenly they wither back and split open, and tiny snakes slither out into the island.
I have cursed their grave. I'm going. I had nothing to do with this whatsoever.
And you feel the voice of Dana in your head, who does say this island cannot be blessed because of the foul beast upon it. But she doesn't say something quite as harsh that you can't also be blessed. Right,
she didn't include me in the curse.
Right. No, not as.
Okay.
As
well, since Shining Star has absolutely no way of knowing what Ron rolled, and I'm sticking to that. What that means is that I'm going to, sort of shake my head and say this entire endeavor was just disastrous. The next thing I'm going to do is go, I don't know. Either I spend the rest of my life avoiding Adolfo, or I shove this whistle up his ass. And then he can blow on it all he wants to. That's the only thing I can really think of. But anyway, so I'll go back.
That makes me think of something, which is we're on a deserted island.
You're on an island? That's certainly the case.
If we were ever going to summon Adolfo to a place where we can quietly murder and get rid of him.
I don't know, Rod, you kind of like playing this whole lone squad thing. I'm happy to turn the whistle over to an entire institution of imperial intrigue.
Okay,
to decide what to do with it, and then they give me something I want, which isn't Adolfo, and then I don't have to worry about it anymore. But anyway, yes, I will vacate the grave area and, kind of look around and say, "Good luck, Island," and head back.
Okay.
Where are the other characters when this blessing was occurring? I mean, were we back on the ship, or?
I assumed that since you'd been taken out to the island to help dig graves, you were still there, while the with the captain and a couple of his sailors who'd come over to bless the graves and such like. I imagine that now, what's his name? Since he seems creepy and weird, Sabuko, the doctor, was probably there for that.
And so we see this strange effect on the grave when Shining Star is.
Oh, absolutely! I think you definitely feel a godly presence, but clearly it doesn't have the effect that Shining Star was hoping it would have. So.
Must not be an Elfie island.
So Captain Liang was rolling his eyes.
Yeah, I'm making my
strange activities.
Yes, my usual good impression on Captain Liang.
So it sounds like, unless anyone wants to do anything else on the island, you're all following the captain back to the ship.
My desire is to get back to the ship. For me.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Well, I think Girl will ask Shining Star, like, what exactly is going on with that grave? I mean,
well, you know
it's
how
not like a good sign.
back in Smith City, I did a whole bunch of calling on Dana and got Dana's blessing on me for bringing back her silver bow. And a lot of what we achieved back in Smith City, besides all the chaos, murder, and violence, was in great part by the help of Dana. And so I just thought it might be nice to bring down the blessing of Dana, if she were so willing, onto the graves of these Easterlings. I do feel kind of sorry for them, considering that they would be alive if it weren't for us. But as it turns out, Dana doesn't really think a whole lot of this island, or of the Easterlings, or possibly of me at the moment. Can't argue with gods. So, no, she didn't bless the graves. And something tells me I'm going to keep my mouth shut about Dana for a little while, until such a time as I'm really, really, really sure that what I'm doing is what she likes. So that's all I got. By the way, since we now have Dana cursed snakes and her proclamation that this island is indeed cursed, that there is a humongous beast here, and I'm pretty sure she wasn't talking about you, we should go.
Yeah, I think Girl would be in agreement with that. Yeah.
Can we all agree not to be on, like, even indirectly doing things that would piss Captain Lang off? Keeping in mind, he could have left us here very easily without even a shred of argumentation from the crew. Right.
Yeah.
I think Girl is definitely in agreement that we need to kind of get where we want to go. We need to arrive at our destination.
Cool. So it sounds like back on the boat, on the ship, keeping out of.
You never did quite say what happened to Snaps, and things have been a little busy. So then I was going to ask in the morning, and then the captain got us up with shovels. So, speaking of burials at sea, do we have to take care of that? Girl?
Oh, yeah. Well, I have attended to Snaps as well as I can.
Bear in mind that I have no idea whether Snaps is alive or dead. No one ever told me.
Well,
So when you
yeah,
say you've
I mean,
attended to him as well as you can, what do you mean? You dismembered him at all the major joints and put him in a pot? I mean, what are you talking about?
no, he is. I think he is stabilized.
So
But
let's contextualize this conversation. When is it happening?
Oh, where is it happening? I think
Yes.
we're like muttering at each other in the stern of one of the boats on the way to the ship.
Cool.
You know, hopefully making sure we're not being very overheard.
yeah, I mean,
And just to fill in from my note, after you took your axe to Snaps and then tried to prevent him from bleeding to death, I don't think there was a conversation between Girl and Shining Star. And
No, there
Christabel
hasn't.
where that was talked about. But various people were lulled to sleep by the delightful music of Shining Star. And then in the morning, everyone woke refreshed, got dragooned into being a burial party. So, carry on. Sorry, have your.
yeah. So I mean, I gave Snaps quite a wallop, and he certainly is in need of some medical attention. But I think he's stabilized. But when we get to our destination, I think he probably is going to need a bit of time for recovery from the wound I gave him.
Well, since he is now whistle free, I don't care what happens to him. As long as it doesn't cause Captain Lang any problem. I mean, is he going to suddenly burst out from your cabin running bloody around the boat screaming murder, murder?
No, I don't think he's in any condition to cause us any problems.
And he totally pulled the wool over my eyes about being a happy-go-lucky, follower, almost literally just a follower of the ever-changing one. We're not a devotee thereof, right? So,
yeah, well, yeah, he's not only a devotee, but is, I think, was. I mean, these devotees of the ever-changing one. I've known a little bit about the ever-changing one, but these followers that are around Adolfo seem to be of a completely different breed from what I am used to. With those
Adolfo himself held forth on this topic to me and to Christabel. He's a dick.
That would be putting it mildly, right. I would say.
So, I think Snaps is kind of off the holidays list, off the Holy Day of Dana list.
Yes, I would agree. And I would also say if we ever encounter Adolfo again, he will not depart from us.
Yeah, Christabel's saying the same thing. Let's wait till we get a little more private, and I'll give you my thoughts on what we could do with the resources available to us. So anyway, we do have back at the ship, presumably becoming quite friendly with my sister, in any way that they may so choose. None of my business. We do have quite the agent of the Elven Empire there, who has reason to be pretty favorable toward us right now. So, now, of course, we go in there and find that he's been assassinated or something. God knows what, the fates have in store for us, but we'll work out from there. Anyways, so I think that's all the sensitive info I want to discuss in anything resembling public.